Imagine a quiet room. It is dark outside. Snow falls slowly. A young woman sits alone at a desk. She writes fast. Her pen does not stop. Numbers, equations, ideas, big, world-changing ideas. But the world does not know her name. History books do not show her face. She is invisible, but she is everywhere. What if I told you something shocking? What if one of the greatest ideas in science was not born alone? In 1905, the world changed forever. A man named Albert Einstein published 5 papers. Those papers changed everything we know about time, space, and light. Einstein became the most famous scientist in history. His name became a symbol. His face went on posters, books, and stamps. But there was someone else in that room. Someone who read every paper. Someone who solved every problem. Her name was Mileva Marić. You have probably never heard that name, but today, you will. Today, her story comes out of the shadows. Today, she finally gets her light. This is a story about genius, about love, about silence. It is also a story about you, because learning English, like Mileva's story, is about finding your voice. Stay with me. This story will surprise you. It might even change the way you see the world. Let us go back, far back. The year is 1875. The world is very different from today. In the small town of Titel, in Serbia, a baby girl is born. Her parents name her Mileva. She is the first child. She is loved deeply. But Mileva is not like other children. She is quiet. She watches everything. And she loves numbers more than toys. Her father, Milos, sees something special in her. He watches his daughter solve problems fast. He says to himself, this child must go to school. But here is the problem. In the 1880s, girls did not go to school. Not to real school. Not to university. Not anywhere serious. This was the rule, not just in Serbia. It was the rule across all of Europe. Women were expected to stay home, to be quiet, to disappear. But Milos Maric refused this rule. He was a strong man with a strong heart. He used every connection he had to fight for his daughter. He got special permission from the government. His daughter could study at the boys' school in Serbia. She was the only girl, the only one in the entire school. Mileva was not afraid. She walked into that school like she owned it. She did not look left or right. She looked forward. She studied harder than anyone. Her grades were the best in the class. Her teachers were shocked, then deeply impressed. Then came the biggest challenge of her young life. She applied to the most famous science school in the world, the Zurich Polytechnic Institute in Switzerland. This school accepted almost no women at all, but Mileva's entrance scores were perfect. They could not say no. In September 1896, Mileva Marić walked into the Zurich Polytechnic. She was 21 years old. She was the only woman in the entire physics and mathematics program. And there, in that lecture hall, she saw him for the first time. A young man with messy brown hair. He was talking loudly and laughing with his friends. His name was Albert Einstein. He was 17 years old. She was 21. They were very different people. Einstein was loud. Mileva was quiet. Einstein dreamed big dreams. Mileva calculated exact answers. But they both loved one thing above everything else. They loved physics deeply and completely. They loved the big, impossible questions, the ones nobody could answer yet. They began to study together every day. Long hours, long nights, endless questions between them. Einstein once wrote to Mileva, "How happy I am to have found you." Now, here is where the story gets complicated. Here is where history becomes unfair. It is very hard to prove exactly what Mileva did. History did not record her work clearly or completely, because the world in 1900 did not want to record a woman's genius. But here is what we know for certain. In 1900, Einstein and Mileva were a team. They worked on the same hard problem together every single day. Einstein's personal letters to Mileva still survive today. In those letters, he writes the words, "our work," not "my work," our work. He writes also, "our theory of relative motion," not not my theory, our theory. In 1901, something changed their lives forever. Mileva became pregnant. They were not yet married. This was a complete disaster in 1901 Europe. A pregnant unmarried woman could not stay at university. She had worked so hard, but the door was closing fast. She had to leave Zurich and go back home. She went home to her family in Serbia. She had a baby girl there. They named her Liesl. Liesl disappeared from all of history. Some historians say she was given to another family. Some say she died very young. Nobody knows the real answer. The records were destroyed or never kept. Mileva returned to Zurich to take her final university exams. She failed. Then she tried again. She failed again. Many historians believe she was simply far too exhausted and heartbroken to pass. Albert Einstein passed his exams successfully. He got a good job at the patent office in Bern, Switzerland. Mileva had no degree, no official job, no title, no recognition. They finally married in January 1903. They had 2 more children together, Hans Albert and Eduard. They lived a quiet, simple life together in the city of Bern. And then came the miracle year. The year Einstein published 5 papers that changed the course of science forever. One of those papers was the special theory of relativity. It said that time is not fixed. Space is not fixed. Everything in the universe depends completely on how fast you are moving. This idea shook the entire scientific world. The greatest scientists could not believe it at first, but it was completely true. And it changed absolutely everything. And Mileva, she was at home in their apartment. She was cooking dinner for the family. Now we come to the most important question of this entire story. The question historians have argued about passionately for decades. The question that still does not have one perfect answer. Did Mileva Maric help write the theory of relativity? Let us look at the evidence together. Fact 1. In Einstein's own personal letters to Mileva written before 1905, he uses the words "our work" and "our theory." These are his own words, in his own handwriting, on paper that still exists today. Fact 2. Mileva was one of only 2 people in the entire world who fully understood the advanced physics needed for those 5 papers. Einstein was the other person. Fact 3. A respected Russian physicist named Abram Joff later wrote in his memoirs that he had personally seen the original papers before they were published to the world. He wrote that the author's name on those papers was Einstein Maric. Maric was Mileva's family name written in her own Serbian language. Pause the video right now and think carefully about this. If you worked hard to write something important with your partner, and then your name was quietly removed from it, how would that feel? Write your honest answer in the comments section below. Fact 4. When Albert Einstein finally won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921, he did something very unusual. He gave all of the prize money, every single coin of it, directly to Mileva. Not to a charity, not to a university, not to science, to Mileva alone. Why would he do that? If she was only a wife, only a mother, only a person who cooked dinner, why would the Nobel Prize money go directly to her? Some historians argue clearly she helped Einstein deeply. She was a true co-author of those papers. Other historians respond carefully. We cannot prove this completely. We must be honest about what we do not know. Both sides have brilliant people arguing for them. Both sides have real, serious reasons behind their position. But here is one thing that even the most careful skeptics agree on completely. Mileva Maric was absolutely brilliant. She was among the very first women in all of European history to study advanced university-level physics. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever done something genuinely great, worked hard on something real, and then watched someone else receive all the credit for it? How did that feel inside your chest? Share your honest story in the comments below. As Einstein grew more famous across Europe, something inside him changed permanently. He became distant from his family, cold, endlessly busy with his own growing fame. He traveled to important continents conferences. He gave celebrated lectures. He met powerful and famous people everywhere he went. Mileva stayed home every day. She raised their 2 young sons completely alone. She gave up all of her own scientific work and thinking, completely and permanently. In 1914, Einstein sent Mileva a letter asking her to accept a terrible set of conditions. He had written out a cold-numbered list of rules for how their marriage would now work. These were not the words of love. They were the words of control. You will ensure that my clothes and laundry are kept in perfect order. You will not expect any intimacy or warmth from me. You will stop talking to me immediately whenever I request it. These were his words, written to a woman who may have helped him build his entire scientific legacy from the very beginning. Mileva did not accept his conditions. She was too strong for that. She was too proud. She packed their belongings, took her children, and moved permanently back to Zurich. They officially divorced in 1919 after years of painful separation. Einstein married another woman that same year, just months later, and the entire world continued to celebrate Albert Einstein. Here is a question worth thinking about seriously. Is it truly possible to separate a great person's achievements completely from the way they lived their personal life? Can we genuinely celebrate Einstein's ideas while also seeing and acknowledging Mileva's story honestly? There is no easy answer. Think about it carefully. Mileva Marić lived a long life. She survived until the year 1948. She raised her 2 sons entirely alone in Zurich. She gave private lessons in mathematics and physics to students to earn just enough money to survive. She never published a single scientific paper under her own name. She never stood on any public stage and accepted any prize or recognition. She never appeared in a single famous photograph that the world would remember. But the world she helped to build is all around us right now. Every single day, every single second of our modern life, the science of relativity lives actively inside our smartphones, our GPS navigation, our satellite, our entire connected world. Every time you open Google Maps to find a nearby coffee shop on a quiet afternoon, every time your phone knows with perfect precision exactly where you are standing in the world, the theory of relativity is working silently and faithfully behind the scenes, and somewhere hidden deep inside that invisible mathematic, there may be a woman's careful hand, writing with quiet purpose in candlelight, on a cold winter night, in Zurich, in 1904. Why does this story matter to you personally? You are learning English right now, in this moment. You are doing something genuinely brave and genuinely difficult every single day. Maybe nobody around you sees your daily effort and struggle. Maybe nobody gives you a prize or celebrates your progress. Maybe your hard work feels completely invisible to the people around you right now. But Mileva Marić teaches us one deeply powerful truth about life. Her name was hidden from the world for nearly a full century. And then, slowly, carefully, surely, the truth came back to find her. Truth is patient. Truth waits for as long as it needs to wait. Truth does not disappear forever. It only hides for a little while. And your English learning journey works exactly the same way. Maybe you feel frustratingly slow on some difficult days. Maybe the words and grammar feel hard and heavy and impossible right now. But every single word you learn today is one real step forward. Every sentence you understand completely is a genuine personal victory worth celebrating. Every video you watch and finish is solid, undeniable proof of your strength and dedication. Mileva Marić sat alone in a room full of men who doubted her every day. She was different from everyone around her. She was alone in that difference. She was doubted and overlooked at every turn. But she never stopped thinking. She never once stopped her beautiful, brilliant mind from working. She thought about light and how it moves through the universe. She thought about time and how it bends and stretches. She thought about how the the entire universe moves and flows and exists. And we are still living inside the universe she helped describe and define every single day of our modern life without ever once knowing her name. Her name was Mileva Marić. She was born in Serbia in 1875. She changed the world forever. And now, you know her name. Tell someone else.